In this video, I'm going to teach you how to engrave a silicone watch band using your xTool F1. I'm going to engrave this watch band here, and this tutorial will teach you the basics of how to set up your file, choose your settings, and then actually engrave it using your xTool F1. So let's get started. I tested a watch band already using some settings that I found online, and I really like how it turned out. It also was super quick, so we are going to engrave this pink watch band to see how the colors show up on a lighter color. And I will link the exact ones that I'm using in today's video. So we'll see how it turns out on this sandy pink color. In the video description, I'll also put the exact settings that I use, as well as some other helpful video tutorials. Okay, so let's start on my computer, and I will show you the design that I'm using. If you've been around on my channel for a while, you know that my favorite design program is, and probably always will be, Adobe Illustrator. So I opened up my design file. This is actually a font. It's a dingback font that I purchased on Silhouette's design store. So I will link it in the video description, but it's really cool because if I open up my text tool, I can just type out A, B, C, D, E, F, G, for example. And when I resize it, every letter is a different dingbat. It's called Sierra Dingback font, and I'll link it again in the video description. But then I just took the elements that I wanted and created a design. I also very roughly sketched out the size of my watch band. But the cool thing about xTool Creative Space is that it will frame it up for you. So as long as you have a general measurement of your watch band, you actually don't need this template. So I'm going to remove it just so that it doesn't confuse us. And then I have two sections of design. So this will be for my top watch band with the buckle, and then the longer side will be for the one with the holes. You'll notice that I didn't add any holes in my design. I ended up just having my xTool engraver right over it so that the holes were kind of just integrated in the design. If you want to see where the holes are landing, you can add those in the template. But for me, since it's just florals, I didn't really mind if some of the flowers were cut off. Once you're happy with your design, we're going to save that. I'll save it on my computer. And I'm going to call it Floral Watch Band. I'm just going to save it as a SVG and then click Save. All the standard Adobe settings are great. We'll click OK. The next step is opening up xTool Creative Space, and we'll bring in that art we just created. So I'm going to choose Image in the upper left-hand corner, and then choose my floral watch band. I don't want to scale it. I want it to be the size that I created it as. So I'm going to say display it as the original size. And then you have a couple options. If we want to engrave this at the same time, we can lay it out so that it's engraving at the same time. Or you can ignore part of it so that we can do one at a time, which is the way that I'm going to do. So I'm going to click ignore on this one. And then over here, my output, let's spin this around since we're just doing one at a time. I'm going to rotate that 180 degrees. And I'm going to click engrave. My settings for this are going to be power 80, speed 200. I'm going to do 3 passes, and I want 120 lines per centimeter. I will add all these settings to the video description so that you can easily reference them. And I am using the blue light with bi-directional engraving. All right, so the size of this is 1.15 by 3.147. And you can see that my watch band is about 3 inches long. So it looks like it's the right size. So we'll throw it into my laser and we'll see where it comes out, and we might need to scale and adjust accordingly. And now that our design is prepared, I'm going to place my watch band into my laser bed. So I'm just going to lay it right onto this cutting platform. And you can see that there's a laser shining down onto that band. And if I adjust my focus, you'll be able to see a blue and a red laser. You want to make sure that those are overlapping. So I'm going to adjust that until those lasers are right on top of each other and make a purple color. Once that is focused, now we can adjust where our design is. So on the laser side, I'm going to click frame. You have two framing options. You can frame with a rectangle like I have here, and you can see that there's a rectangle outline around my watch band. And while I'm moving my design, it gives me a live preview of where it's going to end up. So I'm going to resize my design and position it so that it's below those black magnets here and doesn't hang off the edge of my watch band. The other really neat framing option that you have is if I click stop framing here, I can choose outline framing and choose frame, and it will actually show where all my floral designs end up. So I just want to make sure that none of my florals are being cut off. And again, I want to make sure to avoid that black portion up there. I'm going to choose stop framing. So now that I have everything framed up, I can start processing it. So I'm going to close my cover and choose process. You'll see a preview of your design and then click start. And then on your machine, you will click the start button. All right, so that is complete. Let me turn off my purifier so you can hear me. So the engrave time took 2 minutes and 31 seconds. And when it comes out of the laser, it will be a lot darker, and then we'll wash it. So here's what it looks like straight out of the laser, and it appears really dark. And then we're going to wash off that soot layer, and I'll show you that process. To wash off this black soot layer, we're just going to use some soap. A little water and a soft toothbrush. So on this pink color, once you wash off the soot, it's a little difficult to see. So once again, here is the watch band right out of the laser, and that is covered with the black soot, so that's not how it actually will appear. But if you wanted to give it a painted look, you can paint it with an oil-based pen. I haven't had the best success with that, so you'll have to let me know in the comments if you've tried it. And then once you wash it, a little hard to see on camera, but this is after you wash it. So I will wash the other side, and then I will put it on the watch, and we'll see if we can pick up that engrave a little bit better. So here's a final look at the watch bands. You can see that the light pink is a lot harder to see on camera. In real life, it is a nice, deep, clear engrave. It's not liney or pixely. It's really smooth. It looks like the watch band came like that. And then on the blue, it's a lot easier to see because of that contrast, but I do feel like I like the appearance of the pink, so I hope it reads on camera. So the darker colors, it will probably engrave a little bit lighter, it'll be more obvious, whereas the lighter colors will be more subtle. So here's a look at the blue watch band. The same exact design and setting, so that's the blue. And then another look at the pink one. I feel like these videos are most helpful if you're looking to engrave silicone and you're just trying to find some settings as a jumping off point. These settings worked perfectly and they were super fast. The xTool F1 makes it so easy to line up your designs without cutting jigs. I'll link everything I used in the video description. And if you have questions, make sure to leave those in the comments. And if you have any recommendations or suggestions on future tutorials, let me know those in the comments as well. Okay, I think that's everything. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.